Hello, my name is Weston Hughes, and you are listening to a demo reel that I have put together. This is a demo reel of all of my film and television personalities, so this is an impersonation reel, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's get started. This first impersonation is of the actor Christopher Walken, and I thought it would be kind of funny if he was advertising feminine hygiene products. I know that that's probably never going to happen, but I thought it would be humorous, and I hope you enjoy it. So this is Christopher Walken. Hey, girls, do you ever get that not-so-fresh feeling? It's the pits. And girls, I do not mean Brad Pitt. Yeesh! Do yourself a favor, and make sure to always carry a new absorbent maxi pad, now offered in a variety of pleasant aromas, such as vanilla, grapefruit, and cinnamon. Wow! You won't be disappointed when that time rolls around again. This next impersonation will be of the actor Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of my all-time heroes. I thought that it would be within the realm of possibility for him to be in an action buddy cop flick, so that's exactly what I'm going to be reading. Without further ado, here is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Now look here, friend. You know the good cop, bad cop routine. Well, you should know that I'm the good cop. But my friend over there in the corner, he's the bad one. And I mean really bad. Like mega bad. Super bad. Oh, you better do what he says, friend. Because I don't know if I can keep this bulldog on the leash for long. And you don't look like you work out a lot. You're looking a bit flabby. And I can assure you, whatever protein and carbohydrates you might have ingested recently, you're going to need all of it if my bad friend here starts tearing into you. Oh no, I can feel the leash starting to tear, friend. I think this dog is getting hungrier and hungrier. You better hurry. Start now, before it's too late. Come on, hurry, now. Tell us everything. Fess up.
This next impersonation is going to be of the actor Sylvester Stallone, another all-time hero of mine. It's also within the possibility of him being in a buddy cop flick, so let's just, for convenience sake, say that he is the other half of this buddy cop film, and without further ado, the impersonation for Sylvester Stallone.
Hey, yo, listen here, you scumbag. No more lip service. No more lying about where you were the other night and who you were with. We want answers, and we know you got 'em. I'll bust your head open and dangle what's left over the roof of this building if you don't give everything you know up. Tell us what happened to Brasco. Tell us about the peanut butter you've been pushing, you slime bag. Right now! Tell us everything. Everything you know. Where all the stuff went. Where it's coming from. Where it's going. Who's pushing what around to whom. And who's protecting you. I know somebody is. I'm not giving you another chance, you law-breaking rat. It wasn't my war. It wasn't my war, right? It wasn't my war. I didn't start it. They just asked me to finish it. I was the one to intervene, and they come back and yell at me, spitting on me. What am I supposed to do about that? Adrian!
This next impersonation is going to be of the actor Marlon Brando, and I thought it would be amusing to hear Marlon Brando speak Shakespeare, so we've chosen Hamlet, a small portion of it, and without further ado, this is the impersonation for Marlon Brando.
Rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at the stake. How stand I, then, that have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason, and my blood, and let all sleep, while to my shame I see the imminent death of 20,000 men, that for a fantasy and trick of fame go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough and continent to hide the slain. Methinks instead that I will rest mine eyes and go into the kitchen to make a ham and cheese sandwich. I got everything for it anyway. I got black forest ham, rye bread, some mayonnaise with a little bit of horseradish, iceberg lettuce, and of course a block of provolone cheese. How I look forward to this magnificent of Dagwood sandwiches that I shall soon devour.
This next impersonation is going to be of the actor Sir Michael Caine, and I thought that it would be fitting for him to be in a fantasy setting such as Game of Thrones, So, without further ado, here is an impersonation for Sir Michael Caine. Now let's put two things straight here. I do not like you. I do not like you one bit. You are an ugly, dull, and pestilential dwarf, Master Tyrion. And I'm going to be frank with you, because I think that that's the best way to put our relationship aside. My house's standing is worth 10 times that of any lesser house in all of Westeros, even on your side of Casterly Rock, my lord. And you can bet your entire Lannister family fortune that you sit upon, that if this war continues, it will see to a sharp growth in the number of righteous men being crowned throughout the land. I don't think I could have put any better words in your mouth than the ones you took out for yourself. Do you remember our conversation the other night? You probably couldn't have forgotten, despite the fact you were intoxicated. But I'll remind you that when you play the Game of Thrones, there's no good or clean way to win it. You can try to abstain, but you'll probably just get sucked in now, won't you? You were, of course, saying that very well. So you either lose or you die, and even if you win the Game of Thrones, part of you is going to be missing. Whether it's a hand, an eyeball, or maybe part of your sanity, maybe part of your soul. I think you've got a lot to say on that subject, don't you, Master Tyrion? I think you've got plenty to say on that subject, so why don't we just be frank and you can tell me exactly what you mean by that, because I'll be very interested to hear what you have to say on the subject. This next impersonation is going to be of the actor George Takei from Star Trek fame. This is a simple scenario where he is speaking to a superior of some kind. So without further ado, here is the impersonation of the actor George Takei.
Oh my! Pull the reins back on your horses for just a moment, sir. My captain over there is much finer and much more esteemed than to be attacked with such blunt force. How dare you, you vile brigand, you shame the uniform that we are all wearing today. But if you'd like my advice, I didn't get to where I am today by, I don't know, marrying a beautiful woman and then selling her out for favors. I took the initiative myself. I sold myself out. Ha, ha, ha. So, unless you'd like me to run to the other side of the city to fetch her for a demonstration, perhaps we can both save time and I can fulfill your superior needs.
This next impersonation is of the actor James Mason, and he will be advertising a water park, his own themed water park, which I thought would be kind of funny. So without further ado, here is the impersonation for James Mason.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is James Mason. You might remember me from the classic film Lolita. The summertime is almost upon us, and I know you're looking for a way to cool off and have fun at the same time. That's why I've opened James Mason's Wet and Wacky Water Park. Grab hold of an oversized inner tube and raft down this 10-story water slide, so steep it might as well be a vertical drop. But then again, how else will you cool down without being doused in water and feeling terminal velocity winds whipping you all over? Look how much fun I'm having.
This next impersonation is going to be of the director and filmmaker Woody Allen, and I thought that it would be funny if Woody Allen was a superhero or cast to be someone like Spider-Man. So here is, as Spider-Man, Woody Allen.
Stop right there, criminal scum. I would very much appreciate it if you stopped what you were doing to that young woman. Those are clearly her things that you're taking. Honestly, you fellas, you probably aren't going to want to walk around in public with a purse and some pantyhose on. Although it is 2013, I suppose, and this is America, so you can wear what you want. Oh, you've stopped. Oh, that's great. All right, now. Hey, are you guys... Oh, boy. Are all 5 of you big men going to fight me? Well, I should warn you that I'm pretty spry myself, and I have the proportional strength of a spider. And not to mention, I can cover you in a sticky, restrictive webbing. Oh boy. All I can say is that I wouldn't want to be in your shoes right now if I had to fight me.
This next impersonation is going to be of the actor Sean Connery, and I thought it'd be funny if he was advertising a car lot that he opened up instead of acting in iconic movies, but it's sort of an homage. I really love this character. Either way, here is the impersonation for Sean Connery.
Hello there. I'm Sean Connery. You might have seen me in movies, such as The Hunt for Red October or Indiana Jones. But I'm here to tell you that I've stopped acting. And I've opened up a used car lot. That's right. You heard correctly. Come on down to Connery's Used Car Corner. We've got a huge variety of American, European, and Japanese automobiles, all at bargain prices. We slash prices just like I slashed men's heads off in the Highlander movies. I guarantee you'll walk away, drive away satisfied. Saving money is the Chicago way, especially in this 2011 Honda Civic. As James Bond, I took my vodka martinis shaken, not stirred. And you can take this 2009 Kia Rio for less than a quarter of its original market value. So come on down to Connery's Used Car Corner. And remember, you're the money saver now, dog.
This next impersonation is going to be of the late, great Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter. And I thought that it would be kind of funny if he was doing his normal thing to an actor that I will follow up impersonating after him. But for now, here is Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter.
All right, gang. Today we're going to be looking at the elusive Knots in its natural habitat. Now, the Knots is an adept survivor, believe it or not, and it's able to flee quickly at the first sign of trouble. Notice that it has bulging eyes and really long, thin limbs. It's almost like an avian of some kind, with amazing reflexes to match. Whoa! Now let's get in close and take a better look. Oh, crikey, this is going to be exhilarating. Now, the surest way to disable a knot is by wrapping their skinny arms and legs around their torso. Roll them up in a ball like. And congratulations, we've done it! We have successfully subdued a wild knot, gang. Crikey!
You were probably wondering who Steve Irwin was rolling up into a ball, and that will be answered right now. It is the famous actor and comedian Don Knotts. So without further ado, here is the reaction to being subdued by the crocodile hunter, Don Knotts.
Did I remember to pick up the mail? I really don't want to go all the way back to my house just to grab the mail. Hey! What's going on here? What are you doing? Let go of me! I don't know who you are. You can't just... Wait a minute. Why are you bending my legs around my head? This isn't funny. Unhand me. Now you listen here. You're starting to make me angry. And I know karate, fella, so as soon as I untangle myself, I'm going to slap you around and toss you into a garbage can. I may only weigh 90 pounds, but that's 90 whole pounds of man muscle and honed karate instincts. So you better watch yourself. I'll find you.
The next impersonation that you're going to hear is of the famous wrestler, Macho Man Randy Savage. And I thought it would be funny if he was recast in a movie like, I don't know, a classic. Let's take Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. So let's just replace Mr. Smith with Macho Man Randy Savage and see what we get.
Congress, elected officials from sea to shining sea, if you do not pass this bill, and these kids do not get an opportunity to have a summer jam-packed with outdoor fun, then every single one of you Sallys will feel the wrath of my atomic elbow. I'm going to bring the popular vote down on your skulls and twist your skinny bones into a pretzel, and then I'm going to let the Vox Populi nibble away at you until you learn what of the people, by the people, for the people really means. Oh, yeah!
Well, since we just switched Macho Man Randy Savage for Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, why don't we take the actual actor that was in that movie, Jimmy Stewart, and throw him in a movie that's totally not appropriate for him to be in, like The Fast and the Furious. That's right, The Fast and the Furious, starring Jimmy Stewart.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time. Nothing else matters, you understand? Not the mortgage, not the store, and certainly not my team and all their bull. For those 10 seconds or even less than that, I'm free, you understand? That's right, free, Robert E. Lee, free like a flying, flapping bird in the sky.
And you think for a second that you can smoke me on the runway and then leave me for dead for the 5-0? Well, then you've got another thing coming, Buster Keaton. You've got several things coming, by as a matter of fact. See, I got friends. I got friends high, and I got friends low. And if I get touched, you're going to get taken down from every angle. So you sit down there. Sit down. You heard me. Sit down and grab some brandy and get your fancy little brandy sniffer. And after you've had a few, you watch that stuff swirl around maybe. Just maybe you'll figure out that I'm top dog around here. Now get out of my grill and get in your ride. Let's see who's going to get smoked and who's going to get hung out to dry.
This next impersonation is going to be of the personality Truman Capote, and he is going to be simply complaining about trying to find a hot dog stand in Chicago, and apparently he can't find any. But without further ado, here is Truman Capote.
You would be surprised, and I'm not kidding. You would be thoroughly surprised at the number of hot dog stands suspiciously vacant downtown in the city of Chicago. They're all scattered around other areas, but downtown, I was promised by a few good friends of mine that when I went to visit there, that I had to try one of those dogs, apparently. But alas, when we went downtown, my original plan was to eat at least one of those, you see, and we walk up and down the main avenue, up and down all day. No hot dog stands anywhere. Inside. I was offended. I legitimately thought my friends were playing a prank on me. Instead, the search for a plain dog turned into a search for the lost library of Alexandria. It was horrifying.
This next impersonation will be of the character Carl from the film Sling Blade. Usually, people just refer to the character as Sling Blade, even though this is not actually his name. And I thought that it would be funny if we put him in an iconic film role, so how about The Godfather? So let's, without further ado, The Godfather, played by Carl from Sling Blade.
I think I understand where you're coming from. You found paradise here in America. You had a good trade, you made a good living. And you didn't need a friend of me, I figure. But now you come to me and you say, Don Carl, give me justice, please. Give me the justice that I want, Don Carl. But you don't ask with respect. No, sir, you don't offer any kind of friendship. Not even a little bit. You don't even think to call me Godfather, or even bring my favorite dish of French fried potatoes. Instead, you come into my house on the day my daughter is to be married, and you ask me to do murder for money, and you better figure out exactly what to do if you're going to start killing people. I prefer a mower blade. Some people prefer calling it that, but I also like calling it a sling blade. Sling blade sounds appropriate to me, but that ain't the point. You ain't a nice person, not one bit, and I ain't going to get my hands dirty. If you are going to do it, though, you should probably tell them ahead of time to bring an ambulance or a hearse.
For my next two impersonations, I thought that it would be fun to have former President Richard Nixon and former President Ronald Reagan having a presidential debate, where they're pretty much just calling each other out and having a smackdown. So without further ado, let's start with former President Richard Nixon.
I don't know who you think you are, former President Ronald Reagan, but all you and the American people have to do is look at my sterling career in the White House. I empowered our economic base. I sent clear-cut messages to our enemies that we will not tolerate any aggressive maneuvers aimed in our direction, and I made sure that we do not regress in our values. What have you done, Reagan? For one, you ruined our economy. And you started as an actor. How could this country expect to take you seriously as commander-in-chief when all they think about when you come on camera is how you punched a man in the groin in Stallion Road? How noble. You even needed another man's help in order to win that bar fight, sir. Couldn't take him on by yourself. I believe elaborating at this point is unnecessary, and you're not going to have me to kick around anymore, Reagan. That's all I can say.
Now that we've heard Richard Nixon, let's hear what President Reagan has to say in response. So this is the impersonation for President Ronald Reagan.
I see the merits of all your points,
former President Richard Nixon. But if we review your sterling career, as you so put it, the first page starts with a big W, and it ends with a little E. If you can't figure out what I'm trying to get at, I'm making a clever retort regarding Watergate. Yeah, take that. What? Couldn't handle your espionage experts, could ya? And all they had to do was find some papers in a desk at midnight when no one else was around. How exactly do you mess that up? I think the entirety of that scandal, and it was a scandal, by the way, speaks volumes about your worth to this nation than anything else you ever did in the Oval Office. I believe now I'm supposed to say, check and mate. And now that we've done 2 former presidents, I'd like to round it out with another former president who is stumbling into the room wondering what's going on. And here is former President Bill Clinton. Hey everybody, what's going on in this room? Wow, cool. Are you guys making a movie? I just wanted to stop by and let y'all know I ordered a limousine with a hot tub inside. Lap of luxury, my man. Hey, you both want to take the cameras and junk in there? It'll be a lot of fun, I promise. Plus, the public's been dying to see all those sexy former presidents with our shirts off since they voted for us. Anyway, what do you guys say? I guarantee you this party's going to be hotter than the American Revolution. And the final impersonation that I'm bringing is the Scottish actor and comedian Billy Connolly. And I thought that it would be nice to round out these impersonations by having Billy Connolly read the Gettysburg Address. So, without further ado, Billy Connolly.
7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this.
For this last segment, I would like to showcase each of these voices recorded back to back without stopping or editing in between. So what you're going to hear is the raw transition from impersonation to impersonation to show my flexibility shifting between voices. Ladies, I'm not lying when I say you won't regret owning our scented maxi pads now at bargain prices.
Hurry, tell us everything before the wheels of justice get jammed together by some sort of debris, or perhaps some really sturdy string, and then it gets all clogged up so that the wheels can't turn. And if the wheels can't turn, then that means we don't have any justice to churn, like in the butter churner. And if it was a butter churner, I could use my muscles, but it's not working. You have to tell us now everything. Hurry, tell us now.
Hey, yo, give it all up, you dirty brigand. You fiendish worm. Don't make me take you into a ring. I'll go 15 rounds with your dumb fat head. I won't do it any other way. And if your block gets knocked off, it ain't no skin off my nose. You understand me? You better tell me everything.
Good night, sweet prince. And good night to all of you whom enjoy making a delicious sandwich with a variety of potent, nutritious ingredients. And maybe a little bit of bacon grease on the side of it, now that I think about it.
Well, it's a good thing you showed up to this fine establishment, Master Baratheon. But our services are flippant and spotty at best. You see, the old man upstairs, he keeps going to sleep on the job before I could be so bold enough to speak on his actions, my lord. Your old man goes to sleep a bit too often, if you asked my opinion. And I'll stop you right there because I know you would never ask me my opinion on any subject of importance. But, my lord, I urge you, you must hear my pleas. You really must hear my pleas, all of them.
Don't forget to ask for nose plugs or a snorkel device if you feel you are in need of either for your pleasure.
Oh no, I'm so sorry, random stranger lady in a beautiful dress. I must say that's quite a stunning dress. But beating all 5 of these thugs has worn me out. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I've gotten blood. Well, their blood all over you. Oh, please ignore my heroism and carry on with your normal day-to-day routine, seeing as how the streets are now safe with me around, I suppose.
If you need to get to A to B, the shortest distance is a straight line. But when life doesn't give you a straight line, let's say it gives you a rocky, uneven road, then you need a vehicle to match, preferably one that saves gas and feels luxurious at the same time. Come on down and we can outfit you with a previously used automobile that even Mother Nature will be jealous of.
Oh, crikey! After tying up a healthy, bucking Don Knotts, this Aussie's gotten a bit weary. Whew! Now, let's go back down under and see what other wild animals we can show who's boss.
Hey! Where are you going? You can't just leave me here tied up like this. What am I supposed to do, hop around on one leg? Well, if that's what that guy wants, well, then I'm going to hop around until I find an officer of the law that can toss you into the hoosegow. Let's see how you like it. Can't believe I'm saying that. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm a grown man.
Ooh, come on, Congresswoman. You've got some big, sturdy legs there, I noticed. Why don't you come at me with everything you've got under that lavender pantsuit and see if you got what it takes to repel this rippling mountain of conditioned muscles and blunt force trauma like a wrecking ball. Oh, yeah!
You just remember one thing there, hotshot. Mr. Maverick, Mr. Johnny Bravo over here. That's my sister you're dating. And if you break her heart, I'll break your neck.
I'll say this. A habit that became rote for me after the infamous hot dog scandal was to find out the names of all the hip-hop popular restaurants of that city I'd be visiting. So that way, if any of my friends started to hallucinate seas of food carts like they did in Chicago, there would always be a backup on hand.
Mm-hmm. Someday, and that day may never come, I'll call upon you to do a service for me. Probably fetch some biscuits and gravy. But until that day, you will accept this justice as a gift on my daughter's wedding day. Mm-hmm. Mr. Former President, your behavior is appalling. I mean, I'm a bit of a crook, but at least I kept my private life under wraps, if you know what I mean. And I had our enemies running like scared little girls.
I would have to agree with our former president, Mr. Former President, in that you didn't really accomplish anything of extreme importance. And I'd like to comment that I, too, had America's enemies, as is said in our common parlance, running like scared little girls.
Wow, this is crazy. I thought I was a dirtbag, but apparently you two know more about scared little girls than I do. No, I shouldn't make comments like that, not with my reputation. But seriously, though, I did fix our economy when I was in office.
But, in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hollow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here.
This concludes the demo reel. I appreciate you listening to it. Thank you once again, and I hope you had a great time.